We went out to the movies and we saw Black Widow. Let's talk about it. Hey, this is Tom with Tom's Tech Show, and it's been a little while since I've done a video. We've been moving. If you can see, I've got shelves behind me that are just full of different things that I'm trying to unpack and sort. And there's still boxes throughout the house because we had our U boxes delivered about a week ago, and so that's all trying to get sorted out. So I don't even have a desk. What this is, I've got a piece of plywood sitting on two TV trays for the studio in my little office here, and there's my tools are all stacked here. I've got boxes of stuff everywhere. So we're getting there. I have a desk that's supposed to be here Sunday. Then I'll start digging in and making some more regular videos. I do have a whole series of Windows 11 videos that are going to be coming out pretty soon. So if you tuned in for that, more technology stuff that is coming. Once I get the rest of my studio put back together, I don't even have my microphone is not even on its little stand. It's just sitting here on the desk. So some of that stuff is coming. But we did go to see Black Widow, and enjoyed it. We really, we thought, there's supposed to be all this. It's about women, it's woke messaging and all this stuff. And I really didn't get that. I mean, I guess you could say the only kind of bad part of it was, if you want to say, the David Harbour, Alexei character, I don't say they wanted to make fun of him, but, he was more of the, just humor. I mean, he did do other, he had fighting scenes, he had all kinds of things like that. So it's not like that was the only thing. But I mean, even Florence Pugh, like Yelena, her character in the film, throughout was more gritty, throughout a lot more expletives, no F words, just other the regular expletive kind of words, to make her seem more gritty and more down to earth and kind of she did I think it's been in the trailer, the kind of mocking of Natasha's 3-point stance when she jumps down and she does this kind of spider stance and stuff, and just kind of calling her a poser and stuff. And it was kind of a fun theme throughout the film. We do get some backstory through the film. I'm going to flip on the spoiler zone once we get to some really heavy spoiler things that if you don't want to hear that, you'll know to turn off. But we do get some backstory. We get some leading into, how they got to where they are, how this supposed family was all created and put together, and then moving into, getting them together. It's a team up kind of movie. So we start with one character, and then that builds, and you have to go get the other character, and we go get the other character, and get the other character, and then and move through the film. So the action, there's a lot of action. It's almost constant action. I mean, there's car chases and fight scenes and all just your basic over the top action sequences pretty much throughout the film. Often action sequences start when it's really quiet. Like they'll be talking, it'll be really quiet, really calm conversation, then boom, something happens, trying to make accentuate this action coming on and things happening. But so I'm like, okay, there's another one. Okay, there's another one. Okay, there's that got a little bit repetitive in the film. So for let's see here, IMDb, 6,000 people have rated it at a 7.4, which is good. So if we switch over to Rotten Tomatoes, the reviewers are giving it an 81, which is quite good, and audiences 250 verified ratings are 94. So if we look at these reviews, some people say it gets a little dull in the movie. It says Blackwood isn't much of an action movie. It exists mostly to fill a narrative gap between Captain America. Well, yeah, I mean, if you'll have to go back, right? Because of, Endgame. You have to go back there. This one says, very big and impressive considering that Marvel delivers so consistently action-wise. I found myself much more appreciative of Aussie director Kate Shortland's emphasis on character, which helped this resonate. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the character and the family thing that builds through the movie and really the two, Florence Pugh and Scarlett Johansson, really seem to be able to interact really well. I think they, when they were in a lot of scenes, it was a lot of this banter back and forth and stuff that, Scarlett Johansson and Natasha would, has this, delivery of, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is this, even through all the different films, she's very down to earth, very like, we need to solve the problem. We need to do this. And then Florence Pugh or Yelena character comes in and is like, why are you doing that? What is this for? What do you, this is crazy, kind of thing. You're always trying to do this, blah, blah, blah. Really would, that banter, that dialogue banter back and forth really went well throughout the film. Yeah. So, let's see. Let me click on it. Okay. So top critics are giving it 78. All critics, of there's 243, are giving it an 81. So all audience is 91. Verified people is 94. But I mean, it's still, I really did enjoy it. It was along the lines of other Marvel films. I mean, there's no, what I can say is there's no slow part through it. Like, there's not introduce you to characters and get them started and then slow it down to build, different things inside the movie, and then at the end, have, the climax of the film, and, all heck breaks loose. Pretty much all heck breaking loose through the whole film. I mean, there are a few small slowdown parts during different areas of the film, but really kind of kept going, through the whole thing. So, yeah, I would go see it. I mean, we went and saw it in a theater. We've been going to theaters for quite a while now, whether it's a drive-in or a regular, once the regular theaters opened. But now that we're in Florida, I think the theater's been open for quite a while. So if you get to go see it in a theater, I think it would be a much better experience than on Disney Plus. Just for that immersion into, a Marvel film is what you really want to do that. So, all right. So that's kind of an overview. What would I rate the film? I'm giving that 90. I mean, I'd be in between here, the 81 and the 94. I think, like an 87, kind of thing like that. I mean, I really would give it a good review, because it kept me interested. It didn't slow down too much. People are saying it's like dipping in the middle, towards the end. I'm like, well, it's 2.5 hours long, I think. So does it tell me the runtime here? Sometimes it will get the runtime, and I don't see that they move this stuff all around. So PG-13, yes, Disney, Budapest, Hungary, yeah, 2 hours 13 minutes. There we go. So, and I don't think it could have been any shorter. I think what they had in there was just enough. I don't think you would want to shorten it any. I don't think you would want to make it any longer, but I don't think you would want it any shorter than that. So, okay. We're going to flip over. I'm going to turn on the spoiling zone sign, because now we're going to talk about actual details and information from the film. So if you want to cut off and then go watch the film and come back, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we're going to talk about different things in the film. So the film starts, of course, with the backstory on them as a family. So we had David Harbour, Florence Pugh, and Scarlett Johansson, and Rachel Weisz. I don't know why she's not on this list right here. That's very interesting. So them as a family in Ohio, I think it was, and unbeknownst to us, I'm like, wait, you kind of get thrown off. It's like, wait, Natasha was a Russian spy, so why are we in Ohio? I'm like, oh yeah, okay, because they're Russian spies. And they immediately get the call to leave, and they fly to Cuba, and the family gets broken apart because they're not really a family. They're just all different agents put together, even some as small children, because the Yelena and Natasha, they're like probably like 5 and 8 years old, or 5 and 9 years old, something like that, in the scenes and stuff. So they get torn apart as a family, and for some of them it was kind of like, well, that was kind of like the only family that they had. So this was Ever Anderson playing the young Natasha in Ohio, and she still had the proclivity to color her hair all of the time. So from there we get to Yelena, Florence Pugh's character, coming and attacking someone, and then getting hit with some kind of red gas. Now this red gas makes her stop doing what she's doing. We're not really understanding what's happening, but these women are under some kind of mind control, and this red gas releases that and breaks the mind control. So then she realizes, what am I doing? And then she runs off, and she sends the rest of this red gas that she has to Natasha. So from there, the Taskmaster, which is it's like the main kind of hench person in the film, gets released and has to go out and try and get these vials back and find out what, and take care of that. That's the Taskmaster's orders at that point at the beginning of the film. And through this whole thing, Natasha suddenly goes to Budapest, and then meets Yelena, and then our team up starts, right? So they do that, and they work through some of those things, whatever they're doing. They have this fight, and then they go and they find the next person to team up, which is Alexei, and he's in prison. I guess he is the first Russian super soldier that was created, so he's very strong. And they bust him out of the prison that he's in, and then they have to go and get the next character, which is Rachel Weisz's character. So, and what's her character's name in the Yelena? Wow, why isn't Rachel there? Rachel Weisz's. That's very odd. That Rachel Weisz's character is not listed here. There we go. Rachel Weisz. Okay. Rest of cast. She's in rest of cast? Really? She's like a major part of the cast. IMDb is really screwed up here. So Melina Vostokov. So they got to go pick her up. And through this, there's a little bit of switch up, switcheroo, kind of, I don't know, fooling the audience a little bit as we go through here, because they meet Melina Vostokov, and that's where they all get together, have kind of like the dinner scene where they're all talking about, different things, and Natasha slouching and other stuff like that. And so it turns out that Melina has actually called the bad guys to come and pick them up, because they want to find the Red Room. The Red Room is where they train all of the Black Widows to go out. And so they want to find that. They want to get the other bad guy, who is, let's see, we go to photos here. We can pick up the bad guy, who is, next page. Where is he? I know there's a photo of him here somewhere. Next page. Okay. Here we go. This guy, Ray Winstone, plays the head of all of it, and he is the one who created the Red Room. He's the one that set up and has control of all of the Black Widows around the world. And from his little desk, Dreykov, from his little desk, he has a little screen that he has there that he can control them and send them orders and do different things and topple governments and create stock market crashes or raises or whatever. Do that. So he's the ultimate top bad guy. So the Taskmaster is actually, we find out through everything that's going on that at one point, we kept hearing in the movies, Budapest and stuff with Hawkeye and the Black Widow. So that was the attempt, Black Widow's attempt to kill Dreykov. But what happens is, so they want to make sure that Dreykov is there, so they wait for Dreykov's daughter to get up to his office, and they're watching through the window, and then once they know that she's there, that means Dreykov must be there, they blow the building up. Well, of course, turns out the daughter didn't get killed. Dreykov didn't get killed. So the daughter becomes the Taskmaster. So I guess that's a little, how can they must have done some kind of, chemical change to make her more of a super soldier type of thing, because she could kick everybody's butt as they were going through this whole movie. But that Taskmaster, his Dreykov's daughter, is also controlled using his mind control methods. So there's all the Black Widows out across the world, and the Taskmaster also, who's all being mind controlled by this guy. And they want to go stop him, and they want to stop him from taking over and putting women through, and young girls through this whole thing. So in a sense, it's a human trafficking story, trying to stop human trafficking by this guy. So that's a good thing. What they get through, so they're at the place where, it was Melina Vostokov is Rachel Weisz's character, and they're doing this switcheroo, thinking that Melina has turned them in and given them up to Dreykov. When they get there, it all seems like that because they're in prison. Some of them are imprisoned, and some are going to have medical procedures done on them, and all that. And then it turns out they've done a switch, that Melina and Natasha have some type of digital thing on their head that has changed their identity, flipped their identities, so that they can, move between and be thought as that they're the other person. So that kind of throws things off a little bit, for Dreykov, that he thought it was Melina he was talking to, but no, it's actually Natasha. And Natasha gets and tries to kill him, but she can't, because there's some weird pheromone programming that they say they've done that she can't kill him. It actually mentally stops her from doing it. So Dreykov has that programmed into all of the Black Widows so that they can't come after him. And then we find out through these little, as we get through this, when you're getting onto the ship, because the Red Room is actually a big station that he has floating up in the clouds. So that's why nobody's been able to find the Red Room. They were thinking that it was moving all over the place, but no, it's actually up in the clouds. So they get there, and when they're going there, you still think that, it's Melina has betrayed them and is turning them in. So they do these little flashbacks once you get there and start going back and forth with the different scenes. Okay, this is happening. Okay, why is this happening? And then they'll flash back and say, oh, they had this plan all along about how they were doing things, and then back and forth, through this whole thing. So that's, they're doing a little trickery, hiding some information from you, and then giving it to you later to help build some drama in different parts of the film. Then, of course, in the end, they blow up the engines of this flying Red Room station, and it starts crashing down, and then fights and battles ensue, and finally they kill Dreykov, and they rescue all of the Black Widows that are there, get them this little red gas that breaks them of their mind control, and they get out, and then the rest of the family gets out, and they're all land, and the last kind of battle is the Taskmaster fighting Natasha down when they get to the ground, because they do this whole battle through the falling down, out of this big Red Room's kind of sky station. Once they get to the ground, then they have another little battle, and then she has another little vial of the red gas, and she releases that, and the Taskmaster is now released from his mind control. So now we have everybody out of the mind control, and then we have SHIELD coming. We have so then in the end, when they're all on the ground, the Red Room is crashing everywhere. We have William Hurt. I don't know if he's general or commander or whatever. Ross is there to arrest Natasha and take her off, and Natasha makes sure that the rest of the family can get away, and the rest of the other Black Widows escape that, and she's the only one there, because right now the time frame is right after Captain America Civil War and before the Infinity War. So it's right in between there. So everyone else is, the Sokovia Accords are trying to be put in place, and half the Avengers say yes, half the Avengers say no. Some of them get locked up, some of them go on the run. So that's kind of where we are with that. So William Hurt Ross is coming to basically arrest and put her in one of the gulags. But apparently somehow she doesn't get that, because they don't show that to us, because they flash off. It says 2 weeks later she's got one of her friends that gets her stuff throughout the movie. Mason, this guy Mason, he gets her a Quinjet so that she can go fly off and save people from the prison that's out in the middle of the ocean. Then the movie's over, and then we have everyone in the theater, of course, stays, because we want to know, is there a post-credit scene? And there is. So the post-credit scene is Florence Pugh driving up in the wood, in kind of a wooded area. She gets out, her dog gets out. There was when they were talking about not being, earlier in the film, when they were talking about not being able to have children because of the whole Black Widow thing. She says she wished she had a dog. So here, this is going to be post Endgame, is where this scene is from. And so she gets out of her car, the dog runs off, and she gets over. There's a graveyard, and there's a headstone that says Natasha Romanoff on it, has the little Black Widow sign, and it's probably an anniversary of some kind, so she's just there visiting. And then what we saw was the Julia Louis-Dreyfus character from Falcon and Winter Soldier show up and is giving her an assignment. And that assignment is, if you want to know, who killed Natasha, that's your next assignment, to go after him. And she shows him, brings her the tablet, and it's Hawkeye. And then movie over. So I don't know if that may be leading into the Hawkeye series that's coming up, that Florence Pugh is going to be, I don't know, I didn't look this up, but is Florence Pugh going to be in the, yes, Florence Pugh is in the Hawkeye series. Looks like there's going to be 8 episodes of that. So that leads right into that. So somehow Yelena is going to be in the Hawkeye series, probably chasing him down. I don't know if they're going to chase him down, then have them team up, then figure out, oh, he's really not a bad guy or what. But so that leads right into that. So yeah. So I mean, a lot of action, a lot of good family story, a lot of good bickering, between characters, and a little character building, little backstory about all the different characters inside the film and stuff, which leads you through, all the different action scenes that happen. Just like probably 3/4 of it was just action over and over, but that's what you expect from a Marvel film. So yeah. But anyway, I do think it's like an 87, 89, I think, in IMDb. They rate things, 7s. So I mean, this, some people don't like it. Most people are in the 7, 8s. Some people are in the 10s. So I'm giving it, between 8 and 9. For me, that's where I am. I go see it. I mean, I thought it was really good. All right. So there you go. That's my coverage of the Black Widow movie. I think it still fits in with the older type, the phase 1, 2, 3, 4 films. I don't think it's gone completely to the, woke side of everything like some of the other the MCU, or, as they're calling it, many YouTubers are calling it, where every new character has to be female on the other side. Since we've been screaming for this movie, almost from the first Iron Man when she was introduced. Why don't we have a Black Widow film? Why don't we have a Black Widow film? Well, we've got it, and actually, I'm thinking it's really good. So there you go. Go see it. You'll have fun. You won't regret it. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care.